We'll edit that part out later.
Oops.
So unhooking all the straps, and you had the, what's the name of that bar that goes across the handlebars, honey?
This is a Canyon Dancer.
Canyon Dancer.
You want to get a close-up of it? Because it's awfully cool.
Alright, I just don't want to get my boots nasty all over the place.
Sucks into your bars, pulls in. Works great if you don't have bar-in mirrors. If you have bar-in mirrors, then you have a problem. Alright, so then you've got good even pressure going down.
Huh. Cool.
Alright, so this is a new addition since the last time we loaded our motorcycle. It was actually purchased by a friend of mine when he moved my B-King for me, and to be quite honest with you, I should have been using this all along loading Connie. Let me tell you why. One thing it does is it takes a lot of stress off of the grips on your motorcycle handlebars, and it also takes the straps and makes them further apart and separate further away from your motorcycle, reducing the chances of your straps tapping and scratching and rubbing on the motorcycle as you go down the road and everything flexes. So you've got one will mount right there, and make sure you're careful to not let that fall off while you get the other one put on. Grab the other strap, make sure you get them even. So these are pulled evenly on both sides till you get it to that point. Again, make sure that you don't let them fall and scratch your motorcycle before you even get on the road. And you've got this padded piece right here, and that works out really well. The combination of the wheel chock and the straps with lateral support should be enough to keep this motorcycle in place. I cannot stress the importance of the wheel chock being able to lock that tire in a position where it can't roll back and forth, and it also keeps the handlebars from turning, which is incredibly important. It also keeps the tire positioned in the front where the motorcycle can't slide out from underneath itself. And if you want to know how I know this and what can happen, when loading the motorcycle, you want to do it in one very smooth motion till you get that front tire firmly planted on the level inside of your trailer. That tire's still on the ground. We're going to roll all the way up. Always keeping your straps neat and tidy makes whatever step you do in the future much more fluid and goes very smoothly. Alright, so I'm going to make sure I have the hook pretty straight here. It is relatively straight. Sit down and squat, and at the same time pull the straps. Just a gentle little tug. The motorcycle is now pretty firmly set in place in the wheel chock and with the straps. It shouldn't really matter what motorcycle you load there should always be some support bracket unless somebody's removed them for looks. The type of straps that I use on the rear of the motorcycle are a cam style, and these things just simply loop through, and as you pull, the teeth grab down and bite here. At this moment you should be able to get off the motorcycle, and it's pretty darn stable. You've already seen the Canyon Dancer bar harness that goes across the motorcycle, and that puts your point further out for your straps. On the Bee King, I can't use the Canyon Dancer straps because of the bar-in mirrors, so instead we've got some very traditional old school handlebar wraps tied off to a standard good old school ratchet strap. I keep an assortment of motorcycle straps on board the motorcycle. In this case, it's probably going to be best to use these straps right here. These straps simply are made so that you can do a loop through them. We'll put these straps through here, and we will tighten those down, and hopefully this hoop will keep all of our metal parts far enough away from the motorcycle. So we're going to go ahead and start to reel this strap in. See what that looks like. Once I began loading a motorcycle into a trailer, I usually never get off the motorcycle until it's completely strapped down, because I'll already have had all of this stuff sitting together and ready to go. I don't have much room to ratchet this, so I pulled the strap back in order to get a little bit more bite. You can tell the motorcycle is quite stable. This system has worked out for probably 20,000-30,000 miles of pulling this camper with a motorcycle loaded just like you see it, with no issues at all. So at one time I moved the rear saddle, the rear tire saddle for the wheel chock, to a lower position because it made it easier to get the motorcycle rolling out of the wheel chock. The downside to that was, coming up top, the tire did not fit in the front saddle portion of the wheel chock, and it allowed the handlebars to have quite a bit of movement. So that is something to consider. So this is the Suzuki Bee King fully loaded on the trailer, and this particular setup has worked really well for me, going on about 4 years. I cannot emphasize enough the need to have a wheel chock. The wheel chock is something that is just absolutely vital to keep the support of your motorcycle in place as you're going down the freeway on these really, really rough, trashy roads. That wraps up our loading procedures for a motorcycle on our toy hauler camper.